Our oceans, once teeming with life, are facing a new threat, and it is plastic. Every year, millions of tons of plastic waste end up in our seas, creating a global crisis. This pollution has devastating effects on marine life, ecosystems, and even our own well-being. The time to act is now, before this environmental disaster becomes irreversible. Plastic's durability, while useful for us, makes it a persistent pollutant. Unlike organic materials, plastic doesn't biodegrade easily. Instead, it breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces, lingering in the environment for centuries. The consequences of this plastic accumulation are vast and far-reaching. The image of a sea turtle entangled in a discarded fishing net is a stark reminder of the crisis at hand. This is not an isolated incident. Countless marine animals face similar fates, highlighting the urgent need for action. We must address this issue at its source, reducing plastic consumption and improving waste management. The numbers are staggering. Scientists estimate that over 8 million tons of plastic enter our oceans annually. This is equivalent to dumping a garbage truck full of plastic into the sea every minute. The vast majority of this plastic originates from land-based sources. The infamous Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a swirling vortex of plastic debris twice the size of Texas, is a stark visual representation of the problem. However, it's crucial to understand that this is not the only such accumulation. Similar garbage patches exist in other oceans, highlighting the global scale of plastic pollution. These plastic islands are just the tip of the iceberg. Much of the plastic sinks to the ocean floor, making it difficult to quantify the true extent of the problem. Researchers are only beginning to understand the full implications of this submerged plastic pollution. Where does all this plastic come from? A significant portion originates from single-use plastics, such as bags, bottles, and packaging. These items are often used for short periods and then discarded, ending up in landfills or worse, our oceans. Rivers act as conveyor belts, carrying plastic waste from inland areas to the sea. Improper waste management practices in many parts of the world exacerbate the problem. Without proper infrastructure and recycling programs, plastic waste often ends up in waterways. Fishing gear is another major contributor to ocean plastic. Discarded or lost fishing nets, known as ghost nets, continue to trap marine life for years, leading to unnecessary suffering and death. Addressing this issue requires collaboration within the fishing industry to promote responsible fishing practices. The impact of plastic pollution on marine life is devastating. Animals can become entangled in plastic debris, leading to injury, suffocation, or drowning. Ingestion of plastic is another serious threat, causing starvation, internal injuries, and even death. Seabirds often mistake small pieces of plastic for food. This plastic accumulates in their stomachs, giving them a false sense of fullness, leading to malnutrition and starvation. The heartbreaking images of dead seabirds with stomachs full of plastic are a stark reminder of the consequences of our actions. Marine mammals such as whales and dolphins are also vulnerable to plastic ingestion. A whale found dead with over 80 pounds of plastic in its stomach highlights the severity of this issue. These animals often ingest plastic accidentally while feeding, mistaking it for prey. Microplastics, tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in size, pose a more insidious threat. These particles result from the breakdown of larger plastic pieces and are now ubiquitous in marine environments, from surface waters to the deepest ocean trenches. Due to their small size, microplastics are easily ingested by a wide range of marine organisms, including plankton, fish, and shellfish. This can disrupt their feeding behavior, affect their growth and reproduction, and even lead to death. The presence of microplastics in seafood raises concerns about human health. While more research is needed, studies suggest that microplastics can accumulate in the food chain, potentially exposing humans to harmful chemicals and pollutants. Unraveling the web ecosystem disruption. Plastic pollution doesn't just impact individual animals, it disrupts entire marine ecosystems. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, are particularly vulnerable. Plastic debris can smother corals, blocking sunlight and hindering their growth. The accumulation of plastic on the ocean floor can alter habitats and smother benthic organisms, disrupting the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. These disruptions can have cascading effects throughout the food web, impacting the health and abundance of marine life. The economic consequences of plastic pollution are significant. The tourism industry suffers from polluted beaches and damaged marine environments. The fishing industry faces reduced catches and increased costs, due to damaged gear and contaminated catches. Addressing plastic pollution is not just an environmental imperative but also an economic one.